Esio Trot by Roald Dahl. An ancient spell, 140 tortoises, and a little bit of magic. Mr. Hoppy is in love with his neighbor, Mrs. Silver, but she is in love with someone else. Alfie, her pet tortoise. With all her attention focused on Alfie, Mrs. Silver doesn't even know Mr. Hoppy is alive. And Mr. Hoppy is too shy to even ask Mrs. Silver out for tea. But one day, Mr. Hoppy comes up with a brilliant idea to get Mrs. Silver's attention. If Mr. Hoppy's plan works, Mrs. Silver will certainly fall in love with him. After all, everyone knows the way to a woman's heart is through her tortoise. Author's note. Some years ago, when my own children were small, we usually kept a tortoise or two in the garden. In those days, a pet tortoise was a common sight crawling about on the family lawn or in the backyard. You could buy them quite cheaply in any pet shop, and they were probably the least troublesome of all childhood pets and quite harmless. Tortoises used to be brought into England by the thousand, packed in crates, and they came mostly from North Africa. But not many years ago, a law was passed that made it illegal to bring any tortoises into the country. This was not done to protect us. The little tortoise was not a danger to anybody. It was done purely out of kindness to the tortoise itself. You see, the traders who brought them in used to cram hundreds of them tightly into the packing crates without food or water, and in such horrible conditions that a great many of them always died on the sea journey over. So rather than allow this cruelty to go on, the government stopped the whole business. The things you are going to read about in this story all happened in the days when anyone could go out and buy a nice little tortoise from a pet shop.